Okay, welcome once again for another configuration 2025. We are here to configure a topic as we name it as ASA. Adaptive Security Appliance. And when you look at the screen, you can see that we have some configurations of a sketch. Let me just make it small for us to just, at least we can. Okay. Now, the main reason why, we want to configure the topology that we have on our screen is when you check the right side, we have inside, we have the DMZ, then we have the outside, which is the security side of it. Now, let me just explain something small for you, okay? This is our corporate network. The one we have is called inside. And this place, as you are seeing the servers over there, are a place that's the, let me say, a preferred what? Zone. Before you can enter there, you have to be very what? Authenticate. They have to authenticate you before. And in ASA is also a firewall, security firewall. ASA is a security firewall, which means that we want to, like yesterday when I was explaining, I told you that a firewall that deals with what? Inbound and what? Outbound, okay? Inside our network, this one, we know them. We know the pieces. So this place is a LAN. Let me just put some colors across so that at least it can help us more to understand what we are about to do. If I put something like this, now, inside the green is a LAN. We know this is the place that we configure our everything. You and I did the configuration. So that is our LAN. We know this. So perfectly, you know this side. But what about this side? This side also is a security zone. You did this side. It's a security zone. Security zone on its own. And we don't want any outsider to have access to our DHCP server, neither FTP server or the web server, but the DMZ is demilitarized world zone. Before you can enter into such zone, you have to be authenticated. But when you check the outside, we don't know what is going on outside. So here it's like we don't know. This place we don't know, but we will configure it. Are you following it? So this place security, we don't know much, but this place security we know because we believe what we configured. Then this place, we don't want any user here to enter here without our knowledge. So it means that for us to configure our ASA, the ASA is there, it stands in for a firewall, both in and what? Out. We will configure everything, okay? So now, what we are going to do, this ASA, we are going to configure the 5506. Then, after configuring everything, we'll know how to deal with the ASA very well. Now, in ASA, yesterday I told you that you have to just, in our understanding for the ASA, we are coming to do a configuration in such a way that, one, the ASA is there to protect our outside and inside. So when you look at the sketch, which is the topology, like what I was explaining earlier on, this place, which is the green side, is our LAN. We believe our LAN. We trust our LAN. But what about this place? This place, we don't trust it much because anyone can enter there. So you have to be our security zone. But what about outside? Outside, we don't trust what is outside. We don't trust it. So for you to protect, The morning sweater has done what? You are not in the class and you are asking question. Your matter has not been solved. When you check, so we are coming to configure the ASA, okay? And by configuring the ASA, this is our LAN. This is a DMZ. And this place is outside. Like what I said, ASA, we are going to configure a lot of things inside ASA. Then we have our laptop. So let's just give our laptop name as what? BF admin 1. So it means that the BF admin 1 is the one that is going to stand in for the configuration, which is you to configure the firewall. Okay? Yes, to the DMZ. So the firewall, thank you very much. The firewall will stand in as a filter. Yesterday, you remember I asked you about filtering. So the firewall is going to stand in as what? A filter. Will you be allowed to go out, which is outside, or will you be allowed to enter inside the DMZ? If truly you want to enter inside the DMZ, have you been authenticated? Somebody want to copy a file from the FTP server. Have you been authenticated to copy the file? Are you part? Is your name inside the file server? If your name is not inside the file server, then it means that the firewall is going to what? Block you. Are you following it? But if your name is there, oh, you can enter and copy it. Because the DMZ is for authenticated what? Users. Do you understand? Yes. And in ASA configuration, we have securities. Okay? The reason why the outside security is 0 is we don't know the security. But inside, we have 100. Inside, the security of ASA inside is 100. 100, which is 100%. We know. But what about the DMZ? DMZ, we don't know. That's why I put 50 here. 50-50. Are you following it? Have you been allowed to enter, or you've not been allowed to enter? It's 50-50. But this place there, the green side there, we configured everything. So we know. We know that, okay, this side there is 100%. The security over there is 100%. But this one is authenticated. Who has been allowed? Who has not been allowed? And for us to make sure that those things have to be what? In place, we have to configure everything on what? The ASA. So the ASA is the one that is going to stand in as a firewall. Both inbound and what? Outbound. Okay, let's look at this PC. Let's look at this PC. I hope that yesterday you configured this PC at 192.168.1.3. Is that not it? Now, let's name the PC Kwame. Let us name the PC Kwame. Now, this PC Kwame want to browse this particular server called BFR1. Kwame is not sure because for Kwame to browse BFR1, we are not sure whether BFR1 is having a lot of virus. We don't know. So outsider, you are not sure. Are you following it? Outsider, you are not sure. But the inside, you are sure. Or somebody that you have worked with, you can test or you can say something about your friend to another friend, the character of your friend to another friend more than the one that you don't know. Let's say, for instance, you're about to marry. In the process, you know your sister more than your wife. Or your partner you're about to marry. Or you don't know. Yes, you know your sister because you have been with your sister. Long time. You know the character of your sister. You know your movement. You know her movement. Everything. But what about the outsider that you are now going to clinch yourself with? You don't know. So it's 50-50. By your sister, they're 100%. You see how the thing is? So you are going to stand in as a what? A firewall. So if somebody is talking bad or something about your sister, you know that, oh, no, that one there, I don't believe. You know. Is that not it? But if somebody is talking about somebody outside that you have been with a little and you don't know, you say, well, it could be 50-50. And if you trust the person, the only person you can trust is yourself. Do you understand? Yes. They said the moment the trust fade, love vanish. So think that if you enter inside the ASA, you think that there is a password, but the password, just will ignore the password. Okay? You are not supposed to double click on what? Firewall. But you're supposed to enter inside firewall. So we are going to pass through the BF admin one to enter inside the device. So I told you yesterday that we have a firewall which is a device. It's like a switch like this. A switch like this. It's ASA. A switch like this. And we have a software. Windows Defender is also what? A firewall. So a device like this also can be what? A firewall. Are you following it? And if a device is like this, then what you are seeing on the screen exactly. So our first configuration is going to be on the password. Yes, it's a default. You have to leave it. You have to leave it.
I didn't leave it. I just gave one password
and you just enter. When you enter, you just go off. Okay. So let's go. We are now going to configure. So you have to write it down. We are going to configure the host name. Then we'll enable the password. Then we'll create a user and the password. Then we'll set a clock also on the ASA. Always plenty. I said we are going to configure a host name. We will enable the password on the ASA. Then we'll create a user. Because the user we are going to create it, we will be using it for SSH. Where you remember SSH? You remember SSH? What in? So let's go to click on go to desktop terminal, then straight to our ASA configuration. So we have the name called Cisco ASA. I said we are going to give a host name. That is a host name first. So the normal configuration is what? EM. The command EM. How is it is asking you password. So just what? Enter. Don't type any password. Just enter. Okay. Are you there now? Fine. So we are going to create a host name. The password. You have to just provide a password. Yes. They just put it there so that, because you've not configured any password. So why you should enter password? So it's a default. So you have to just what? Ignore, enter. Have you seen now why now we are in a privilege mode? Let's go to the configuration mode. So for us to go to the configuration mode, what command will you type? To enter inside the configuration mode, what command will you type? You type config T. I'll do you something over there. You type config what? T. That is a configure terminal. Then you type host name. Yeah, host name. Because it's a firewall, we are going to type BS ASA. ASA underscore. Oh, no, yeah, but you are given a host name. So the host name can be any, but make sure that the host name that you are giving, give a host name according to the company you are working with. Then don't go and choose your maybe somebody that have shown you the relationship, the name, Abigail. And no, choose a name that at least. Okay? Because you are working with a company, the ASA adopted for security device doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the company. So assign the company name to it. It also serves as a security. It's good. Are you following it? So BF ASA underscore 1. Are we through? Oh, okay. You let me just remove the underscore and put hyphen from there. Hyphen 1. Put hyphen 1 there. Are we through? Thank you. So it has changed. And I told you earlier on that we are going to configure one. So we've given the host name. Now we have to give enable password so that when next time we want to enter, at least it will access what? Password. Okay? We shouldn't leave it like that. So enable, then bring the question tag. Bring the question tag. You bring the question tag. You see there's a password, so password. Then you type the password. You type the password. You type the password. So we have to create an SSH username, okay, for an authentication. So it means that this particular user alone is the one that can have access to what? The ASA. Yes, that is administrator. So the administrator name is going to what? BF admin what? 1. Are you following it? So let's go on. So it's username, then BF admin 1. BF admin 1. Then password. Then you put your normal password, the one that you type there. Then you enter. You have to now set the ASA clock. Okay? You have to set the clock. You know that under normal circumstances of the switch, you have to go to the privilege and type what? Show clock rate. But you remember?
The username, which
It's BF admin 1.
yeah, it's for which server?
It's for the user. Look at the users.
Okay.
It's for the user. Okay? Uh-huh.
It's username.
Yes. So anytime you want to enter inside the ASA, it will ask you the username and it will ask you the password. If truly you are the owner of that particular device or you are the one who configured it, then provide the username, provide the password. Are you listening? Uh-huh. So let's type the clock. Then let's put the rate there. Clock. Then bring the question tag. You see that we have the clock set. Then space, then the question tag. Okay? So we want to set the clock to suit our time. And our time now is 9:40. It's 9:40. So configure mode command options. We have HH, which is the hours, minutes, SS. It's not secondary school, but it's what? Seconds, okay? So clock set. So, and sometimes you have to know the time that you are dealing with. The time I'm dealing with, okay, what time? So you said what? clock or show clock or clock show, then yes, you are just going. It will help you and I perfectly. So let's type the set, then let's see the time. Let me see the time. The time. So let's type exact what is there. So it's what? 10.
No, it's 9.
It's 9. Sorry, 9:41. Because the minute is 41. Then let me make it 42 so that because it runs 42, then you can make it 40 seconds space. Today's date is what? 21st. And we are in January. So, January space 2025. Then you enter. Are we done? Okay. Now, let's type show status. Sorry. Let's continue. Okay. Okay, so now, since we have done with this one, we have to make sure that we save. Okay, we save. You know, in the router mode, for you to save, you know, you have to type WR or you have to type couple running config and startup what. But in the ASA, you have to type what? Write memory. Yes. So you type the WR, then the mem. Then it means that you save. Memory. So you type write memory, or you can type write memory. You see, write memory, which means that you are saving. Write memory. It means that you are saving. So you save. Now let's type exit. Type exit again. So when you type EN, it asks you the password. It asks you the password. Do you understand? So you remember your password. Type your password now. Is it? Oh, it's lost. Okay, so what I have said earlier on is that we are about to configure the interface. Those interfaces that the ASA, we've connected them to. We have the GIJ 1/3, and that 1/3 goes with the inside board security, okay? Then we have the GIJ 1/2, that is for the DMZ side, demilitarized zone side. Then we have the GIJ 1/1 is for the outside. So when you provide IP address attack to them, you have to also make sure that you must provide a security level. Security level. And the outside security level always have to be 0 because you don't trust them. Your friend's house have to be 50-50. But your home, you configure everything 100%. So from 0, if 0 and 100, in between 0 and 100, Choose any number to your friends network. Yes, but the other ones have to be what? Either 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you are giving. But you know the security. You can give DMZ about 3 or 4. You can give DMZ 30, DMZ 40, DMZ 50. You understand? But in the normal circumstance, 100% is for the LAN inside. 0 is for outside. Okay? You can choose 0 for inside and 100% outside. You know, you don't do that. So we just enter inside the interface. Just enter inside the interface. Okay. So after entering inside the interface, I want you to press the shift and the question tag. Press the shift and the question tag. When you press the shift and the question tag, you can see that we have assigned name to interface. You see, you have to assign the name to interface. You see the name. So it said name if. You have to assign the name to the interface so that if somebody is coming, the person will know that, okay, this interface is for inside. This interface is for outside. This interface is for DMZ. I hope it is clear. So, shall we go on now? Okay, so you said name, then name if. When you bring the question tag, you see it said word. It said a name by which this interface will be referred in all other words, commands. So you are going to type. And it's what? Inside. Inside. And when we entered, they said information. Security level for inside set to what? 100. By what? Default. So if truly inside is what? The security level is 100, then it means that yes, we have to configure the security level. Which means that we want to stamp on it that, okay, this particular interface is truly what? 100. Okay? So let's go on. So security level. You type security level, then you choose what? 100. You choose 100. Then you enter. Okay. We have to assign an IP address. This is the IP address for it. You understand? This one. So, IP address 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. Enter. Then no shut. Then no shut. Are you done? Okay, so let's type the exit. Now let's go straight to GIJ1/2. Mine is GIJ1/ the one DMZ. Okay, so let's go there. INT GIJ1/2. The name if. That's why you have to type DMZ. Then you enter. It said security. Security level for DMZ set to what? 0. So don't choose that one as 0. You have to choose either 50, either 70, either 80, either 30, either 40, any number. But because the system knew that that one is 50-50, but outside there is normally 0. Okay. That's why there's a trustworthy in what? Inside, they said this one be 100. So security level is going to base on what? This one, we are going to choose what? 50. Then you type the exit. Then we end. Oh, sorry. We're supposed to assign an IP address to it. Sorry, assign an IP address. Sorry. IP address. We assign 192.168.2.1, 255.255.255.0. Then no chat. So that one also, we assign an IP address to it. Just type exit. Just type exit. Then the outside one. You see the outside one? Yes. So let's enter inside the outside one. INT JIJ 1/1. That is mine. I don't know yours. But if your own is 1/1, you are good to go. So the name if is going to be outside. And outside there said the security level is what? 0. So the security level is 0. That is 209. Is there? That is it. So the IP address 209.165.200.226. So 255.255.255.0. The no shot.
The slash is what? I thought the slash is this one.
I didn't put any slash there. There is no classless. I didn't configure slashless. Yesterday, I gave you the way it is. Or, yes. But the classless interrouting domain will come. Okay? That one, you configure it with the slash and the rest. Configure. So type exit. Then write to memory. So WR MEM. You write to memory, which means that you save. You save. SH start. You type SH start to see whatever that you have configured. You type SH start. Now how in the search router we type show run config, then show running configuration or startup configuration. So it tells us that we have the host name. We have the host name as BF ASA-1. We have the enable password. So that is our password encrypted. Because it's a security, it has already encrypted it. You see? It has already encrypted the security for us. So though you know your password, but look at how the password is. It looks like the password also that you've been entering inside your machine. Okay? The Windows. This is where all the passwords are being saved. They save it inside. Press on Windows E. Press on Windows E on your machine. Go to drive C, where all passwords are being saved. You go there, go to then System 32. Look for Windows, and go straight to System 32. Go to System 32. Then look for config. You see config. Drive C. Go to Drive C. Go to Windows, System 32. Then you go to config. Double click on config. You see? You know, this is where your password, all your passwords are being saved. Your system password. This one. This is Sam and the system. So if I come to your machine, are you listening? If I come to your machine, I can copy this. But if you try to copy it through Windows, it will not copy. I have to pass through what? Command prompt to copy. Then I'll put it on the flash drive. If I get the password, I'll come and enter inside for you. So we use the Kali to crack this. We use the Kali to crack. So if you want to crack somebody's machine's password, that is where the password is being stored. Or the system password, that is where it's being stored. Okay, let's go on. So you can see that we have the interface GIJ Ethernet 1/1. The name is outside. The security level is 0. The IP address also is there. Then 1/2, we have the DMZ. The security level is 50. The IP address also shows. Press the space bar. Then the rest of the interface are there. With no name, if no security, no IP address, meanwhile, the interface is what? It's shut down. So then, when you check everything, you just press, then we are back to line. Are you okay? Now, look, we can either assign an IP address, but this one yesterday you assigned an IP address to this. But I want to teach you something because the inside, you know the inside. So I want to teach you something on the ASA in such a way that ASA is the one that will distribute the IP address to this. But static there, you know how to go about it. Is that not it? Static, you know how to go about it. Okay. If static, you know how to go about it, then you can also configure the switch to distribute IP address. You can also configure the router to distribute IP address. But can we also configure the ASA to distribute IP address? Static sometimes delays, but the DHCP fasts. Because yesterday you configured this one. It's okay, you've configured it. But let me teach you the DHCP on what? ASA. Then it will provide an IP address to this one. Then later on, let's see whether I can give this one. Okay. Shall we go? Perfectly. So let's still be on the ASA. How to configure DHCP on ASA. How to assign an IP address of DHCP on what? ASA. Okay. We are still in the configuration mode. So for you to assign an IP address of ASA, remember that ASA interface, this one has already been given an IP address. Okay, in a normal circumstance, you must give an IP address to the interface first before assigning or making that device what? A DHCP to distribute. So let's type the question tag, bring the question tag. You can see that we have configure DHCP server. Have you seen? DHCP-D. You see? The ASA, we use DHCP-D. But in The router, we use what? We use what? DHCP. Is it IP DHCP or DHCP? You said? Hold on. So let's go on. So type DHCPD. DHCPD. Then bring the question tag. Bring the question tag. You will see address. Configure the IP address pool address range after this what? Key. You know, on the router, you type the IP DHCP, then the pool, then the name, then you enter, then you type the network, then you are going where the normal one. But the ASA is different. Okay, the ASA is different. So the ASA, you type what? Address. Then what IP address is 192.168.1 column? Is that not it? So let's type 192.168.1 dot. Then it means that we are going to make sure that from 100, then hyphen, then 192.168.1 dot, let's say 200. Dot 200. Oh, 1.200. Then space, then you bring the question tag. Space, then you bring the question tag. Space, then you bring the question tag. Now, when you bring the question tag, it tells you something over there. Outside, DMZ, inside, and which IP address of distribution of DHCP are we dealing with? Is it inside, outside, or DMZ? Inside. Yes, so you type what? Inside. Enter. Now, when you check the first one, we type something. It said domain name, we have a domain name, we can type, check here. You have a domain name, you can type, okay, change domain name, DHCP, enable, and the rest. Wow. Yes. Okay, sorry. So we have to provide the DNS, okay? But when you check inside, we don't have DNS over there. Do we? But I hope we can add one. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I said we have to now configure this place. So we are going to just try our best to add one word server, okay? Server. So we'll be using that particular server as a. So just go to the end devices, click on the server, then put it. Let's put it this way. Let us name it KLM server. KLM server. Let's name it KLM server. Then connect the server to the switch. To the switch, connect it. Okay. You connect the server to the switch. Then we have to give an IP address to the switch. The same IP address, but we are going to give 192.168.1.201. Okay. Yes. So that is the IP address we'll be providing for our DNS server. So that when the ASA is distributing the IP address to distribute the DNS server IP address to the client also. Okay, so this one you know it already. So just click on it and let us assign that IP address to the server by clicking on the desktop IP configuration. Then we give the static IP address to the server. 192.168.1.201. The default gateway is going to be 192.168.1.1. Then our DNS is going to be 192.168.1.201. That's all. Yeah. The web IP address to this ones. This one. Yes. Which one? Kwame. Kwame. But you gave the IP address this one to Kwame. But this one, the first one we have here, we don't have IP address. We just put this PC there. This one, we don't have IP address. But you know. Shall we go on? Okay, so let's go straight to our ASA. Let's go straight to our ASA. Now, we've provided the DHCP to it. We have to also provide what? The DNS, okay? So let's type the DHCP D, then bring the question tag. Bring the question tag like this. You see that we have DNS there. You see the DNS. Configure the IP DNS of the DNS server after this what? Keyword. So you have to just type the DNS. Then you type the IP address of what? The server, which is 192.168.1.201. You just enter. Which one? Which interface? We are inside we are giving DHCP to distribute. So is the ASA device that is going to distribute the IP address. No. Yeah, I just typed the DHCP space DNS. Then the DNS IP address is our inside DNS IP address, which is this one. Okay. Okay, so let's save our work. Then sh start, and let's see. sh start, and let's see what we have done so far. So you can see that inside we have the DHCP inside, we have the DNS inside. You see? You are saying something. We finish. Okay. So let's see. It's going to distribute from 100 to 200. In between. Do you understand? That is the IP range you've chose. He said you should distribute that one only for inside. If you don't know and you choose DMZ to distribute to this side. But outside there you don't know. You can set your your ASA device to distribute the IP address to outsiders. You have to distribute inside because you know them. Is that which size? Yes, DMZ is outside. Listen, I should open this one. I've not assigned anything to it. It gives you what? A paper. But there is another configuration we will do. Yeah, we are going gradually. We haven't finished. Don't let us rush, okay? Because you've given the ASA to distribute IP address.